What is up, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about setting up your macros for a lean bulk. Now you may hear the term lean bulk a lot, and a lot of people like to throw that term out there, just like, dirty bulking, and there's other terms like that. But a lean bulk is honestly the way to go, because when you want to gain the size, right? Obviously, the most efficient way is honestly probably gaining size and putting on a ton of fat, is by eating a ton of food, making sure that there is no way that your muscles don't have what they need to repair themselves after the gym, right? But if you set a lean bulk up correctly, eating a certain amount of protein, fats, and carbs, you set that up correctly, you'll be able to gain lean mass, and put on minimal fat. Now guys, when it comes to putting on fat, a lot of people don't like to hear that term, and a lot of people don't come to the realization that they're going to be putting on some fat. I was the same way. I thought like, oh, well, why would I have to put on fat? Why can't I just gain muscle and not fat? When you're eating in a caloric surplus, generally speaking, if you're not a beginner, you will gain size, you will gain muscle, you'll gain strength if you're training properly, but generally you will put on some fat. Now, depending on how large the surplus is, that will depend on how much fat you put on. Now, I can speak from experience. Recently, while I was at school, I was eating between 3,200 to 4,000 calories a day. Why I say that big range, because I was shooting for like 32 for a while, and then I was eventually shooting for 35. But what happened was, I was eating all these foods and eating so much, and they labeled the foods and the calories in the dining hall at school. The only problem was it wasn't 100% accurate, because they say the chicken's 100 calories, right? But there's all these pieces of chicken and they're all not the same size. So they're definitely all not 100 calories, so you don't know. And I've come to learn that, and I now know for next time, but I was underestimating everything. So if the rice was 110, if that's what it said on there, I would say it's 100. But if let's say the portion was a little bit bigger than 100 calories, right? I don't know, because I'm not measuring these things out. So maybe it's like 150. I'm now estimating that 150 calorie thing of rice as 100. So I was underestimating all my things. So my actual number was probably more closer to 4,000 than 32 or 3,500 when I was trying to hit those numbers. And now looking back on it, my maintenance calories while at school was probably up around 2,800, max 2,900. So I was eating, for the most part, shooting for, let's say I was averaging 3,500 calories. I was eating 600 to 700 calories, maybe more, above that consistently on a daily basis. Now, when you add it up, it was great. I was putting on a lot of size. I was gaining a ton of strength. It was great. But when you add it all up, at the end of like a couple months, couple weeks, the fat really piled up, and I really lost my abs. I lost a lot of definition, even though my strength and everything was going up. So when it comes to that, you want to make sure you set up your calories on a lean bulk to be less than 500 calorie max. You want to go over your maintenance. You do not want to go more than 500 calories over. You can do that for dirty bulking or for just a serious hardcore bulk, but I don't recommend for a lean bulk to be considered lean. If you go more than 500 calories over your maintenance on a consistent basis, you're not going to be lean for long. So I recommend 200 to maybe 400 calories over your maintenance. I'm going to test it out starting up this next bulking cycle, I guess you could call it, only going for 200-ish, because I mean every day you're going to be it's going to vary somewhat, but I'm going to shoot for 200 calories above maintenance. So if one day I hit maintenance or one day I hit 400 calories over, not a big deal, but I'm going to shoot for 200 calories over my maintenance, and I'm going to see, and I'm going to test it out myself to see where exactly I am. But I recommend keeping that number fairly low over the maintenance. Don't want to go over by more than 500 calories on a consistent basis. It's just not going to be conducive to keeping a lean physique. Now, when it comes to carbs and fats, here's what I like to say, and even protein too. I like to situate your protein first. So right off the bat, when you're bulking, right, when you're eating in a caloric surplus, you don't need as much protein as you would if you were trying to cut weight or in a caloric deficit. So in a deficit, people recommend, and I would generally recommend about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. You can go a little higher, not a big deal. for bulking, you don't necessarily need that much. So I would recommend a similar amount. I would recommend about a pound, but if you get slightly less, like let's say I weigh 170 pounds, let's just say, and I get 160 grams of protein, perfectly fine. If I get 150 grams of protein, perfectly fine. If I get a lot less than 150 grams of protein, considering I'm 170 pounds, that's starting to kind of go a little low. It's probably okay, but I wouldn't go much lower than that, at least for me. And for you, it's kind of, depending on your weight, depending on how much muscle mass you have, will depend on how much you're gonna need. The more muscle mass you have, the more protein you're gonna need. So, I would put your protein approximately 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I put it approximately there, carbs and fats. Now fats, in my case, right, fats right now, when I was cutting were around 60 grams or so. Sometimes they're less, it depends. So, when bulking, I try to shoot for 80 grams of fat. So, 80 grams of fat. Now, the problem with fat is that the more fat you eat, you hit your goal a little faster than you think, because fat is more calorically dense, so there's more calories in a gram of fat than in a gram of protein or carbs. So, you don't want to go too high. For me, I'm just going to give you my example, 170 pounds. Even if I was a little heavier, a little lighter, I would be shooting for between probably about 80 grams of fat. More like 65 to like 95, somewhere in there. It depends on what you want. If you need more carbs for energy and everything, and if you need more carbs to function and properly and everything, I would have a little more fat. And if you need less, if you think you can handle less carbs, less fat. So that's fine. And then the rest of it I would put as carbs, because honestly, you can honestly go about it as just looking at your protein, which is pretty much what I like to do, because I don't like to count every single thing I eat. Look at your protein, you get your protein done, okay, that's fine. Now the rest of it, carbs and fat, can come in. Now I know a lot of foods that have a lot of fat, like cheeses and who knows, whatever else, nuts and stuff. I try to keep them minimal. I like to have that type of stuff and have fats because it's good for you. You need the fats for your hormones and everything, but keep them fairly minimal, and then have a lot of carbs, because carbs are going to fuel your workouts, they're going to fuel you in the gym. That's going to help you progress. Okay, so just to reiterate now, essentially you want to have approximately 30% of your diet protein, about 20% fat, and then about 50% carb. If you're going to be doing that, you're looking to keep a lean bulk, and as long as you don't keep your calories, about 200 to 400 calories above your maintenance at your current body weight and your current activity level, you should be perfectly fine. That's another thing to keep in consideration is your body weight changes as you bulk. So as you continue to be bulk and you start adding 5 pounds over the course of a few months, right? 6 pounds, as you get weight, you're gonna need more calories because you're gonna have more muscle, you're gonna have more body mass. You're gonna need more calories to fuel your body so that your maintenance will go up, and so you might require a little bit more calories to gain a pound of muscle than you required, a month or two ago. Just keep a note. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Comment, subscribe, guys. Like this video, share it if you thought it was helpful. And as always, I'm always here. Thanks for watching.